Okay, we're going to look at how we can work with images that you've got saved in other files, and how we work with those and get those working and assembling on a single page. So you're going to start by obviously getting a page set up. And then what we're going to do is just open up the various files we want to use in separate windows. So if we go to File, Open, you can locate your files, and I'm just going to import these 4 images. And I'm not actually importing them into the document. What I'm doing is I'm opening them up in separate files, which then allows me to then work with them here. So it's now just a case of going and locating the file that you want and selecting it. You can do it manually by dragging across if you want the whole image, or if you wanted part of the image, okay, depending on what you're looking for. If you wanted the whole image, probably the easiest way to do it is to use the Select All, or use the keyboard shortcut that's indicated up there, and then you can copy that, and then you can just paste that into your new file. Then when you've got this here, you can then edit that file as you see fit. For example, if it's too big, you would go up and you would use the edit menu to transform, and there's a scale option there. Okay, so you can then transform that, or you may want to crop the image down, edit, cut, and then you can then use the move tool to position it. And every image that you bring in will be placed onto a new layer. So if I wanted to grab a section out of here, let's say, and I'll edit, copy that, bring that in, edit, paste, and you can see now that's been pasted onto a layer there. Okay. I'm just going to get rid of that layer. It does help actually to name your layers as well. You could give each image, a layer name. Okay, so I'm just going to remove that. So that's the simplest way of working. It's quite straightforward. It's just a case of resizing the image, cropping the image, etc., etc. There are a few other ways that you can work with images in Photoshop. One is to draw a placeholder for the image. Now let's go and get this large image. This is quite big. This is much bigger than the page, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to select all of that, copy it, and this time I'm going to go up to edit, edit, paste special, and it says place into, and that's going to pop that into there. So now we have that image, and we can then move it around inside this window. What Photoshop is doing, and we're going to be dealing with this as we move forward with learning Photoshop, is Photoshop has this ability to create a mask, and that's what's been created up here. So if you have a look at the layer, what's happened is you've got a little window that's been created. So all the black is being masked out. And the only area that we can see through to is the area in white. If I go and click on the mask itself, you can see now I'm actually moving the mask around, i.e. the hole in the mask. Okay, so the hole is in white. So if, for example, we were to go and fill in an area when we've got the mask layer selected, and we'll go in and fill that with some white, you can see now what's happened is we've increased and changed the size, dimensions, and shape of the hole there. And then we could then is the same. Move that around. And in reverse of that, if I go and make sure I've clicked on here, go and fill this in with black. Oops, you've got to remember to click on to the mask itself. There we go. We've now blanked out and created a different area. So it means that the image in the background, you're not actually editing. So it's non-destructive, okay? Non-destructive to the image. When we edited it on this layer, whatever we do to this image is this changing the actual image, and this is leaving the image intact. We're just changing the way that we view it. So there's two different ways of thinking about that. Photoshop has a third way of doing it, which is very similar and really has a similar sort of effect to the mask here, as this tool here is called the frame tool. So what I'm going to go and do is I'm going to go and find another image up here. Let's go and bring that spaceship in. I'm just going to bring part of the spaceship in. So I'm going to copy that across, and I'm going to paste that, edit, paste. Okay, and I'm going to leave that there for a second, because what I'm going to also go and do is, let's move that out of the way a minute, is use my frame tool here. And you can see now that's created a different kind of layer yet again. And I'm just going to move that up into the frame tool. So effectively, we've got something similar going on now, whereby we've got that moving around in the background. Okay, so it's good for repositioning. And then the frame can also be changed. You don't have quite the same flexibility with changing the shape. And it's effective for creating little windows for looking through onto the image. Okay. So there's 3 different ways you can work and place images in Photoshop.